Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It's your host KJ. This morning we have Mario E. Hardy, better known as DJ Ragtop on the ones and twos. How you doing? How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. How you doing this morning? I'm doing good.
You doing good? What's going on? How you feeling mentally?
Well, right now I'm in that fast that gets in that on that fast road moving. So it's like as long as I stay focused and keep it moving. Like I always used to tell people all the time, if you stay busy, you stay out of.
So tell the people about you. Like who's Mario Hardy? Who's DJ Ragtop? Who the life of the entertainer of a DJ? What's going on with that? Like
Well, I mean, it's
I'll be give me 1 second.
did you
All right. I am back.
okay? I'm back to
Yeah. Okay. So tell the people about you and everything like that.
okay. Well, just a little bit about myself. Um, how I came about as I guess you say as DJ Ragtop. I pretty much started DJing back in the days, in 1988 in College Park, Georgia. I grew up in College Park, Georgia, and DJ at a place called Skate Town. So Skate Town was my first starting point. It's kind of funny because my first time ever DJing, I got booed out of the DJ booth. So it was just my way of I love music, so that was my thing. So over the years, I've become better. I've learned the trade. I've actually done a little bit more. I'm always trying to find a unique way of DJing. So that's pretty much one of the things I want to tell a lot of DJs is don't stay within the mainstream of things. Try to do your own thing. And that's just one of those things as DJ Ragtop or DC2DW is always trying to find a way to do it my way and not everybody else's way. So
Okay. So basically you just telling the people just follow your own path. Don't worry about what
right,
everybody else saying. Stay in your own lane and do what you feel inside. Basically, right? Just
pretty
creating
much.
your own path.
And I think that's the biggest part about DJing is that you really like better not even about DJing about being you, doing you. Don't get caught up in the hype of others. Do your own hype. Be your own person. Be your own business owner. And that's one of the things that I strive. I don't compete with other people. I compete with myself. And when you compete with yourself, you will improve who you are. As I don't care if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is. When you compete against yourself, you become better. When you compete with others, sometimes you find yourself drifting away from where you want to be. So that's why
Okay.
you always compete with yourself.
Okay. So what made you want to be a DJ?
Well, and that's funny that I mean I ain't gonna say a funny story, but it's an interesting story. Once upon a time, back in the days, uh, my family went through some things, and we were homeless for a period of time, and so the only thing that kept me feeling good about things was music. So I would sit back, listen to music, and music was my, I guess, my way of breaking away from all the bad things that were going on at that time. And so as time went on, I learned how to record music, which was back in the day, which a lot of people don't know, but the little tape players, the Maxwell tape players, you pretty much all I did was I record all my favorite songs and make, like I said, what we call back in the day a mixtape. And
Okay.
so a lot of them people like my mixtapes and stuff like that. So that was when I was young. And as I got older, I pretty much got a better understanding on how to do more than just do mixtapes. So I
Okay.
got more into music. So it's like we went from a bad situation to where when I finally moved in, my father got custody of us and we moved to Georgia. That's where I was able to take that knowledge, or I should say that love for music, and do more with it. And so like I said, my first time DJing, I was 16 years old, Skate Town, you and it was a Friday night, and I went out there, and I thought I knew had my little records because back then we had to carry crates of records. So
Okay.
I went in thinking that okay, I'm gonna do some things, and got in there, and boy, they booed me out at DJ booth so quick that it was to me at that time, it kind of hit me hard that I gotta do more, because I said okay, I see I wasn't where I should be to be a DJ. So I didn't give up. I continued to keep DJing, and as I continued to keep DJing, um, I got better. That's why I have a love for music and skating, because those were my two things that kind of took me away from all the bad things that were going on at the time. That was my out. That's kind of like my outlet from dealing with things in life. So over
Okay.
the years, those two things, the love for skating, the love for music, is still there. That's why I still contribute to the skate community. I still do a lot of great things for the skaters because I don't forget where I came from. And
Okay. So hold up. So you know how to skate?
oh yeah, oh man, I can skate with the best. My knees won't let me do it like I want to, but I mean I can do my thing.
Wow. So look, you talking about like the skate, you know how
Roll
cause I
bounce, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
See,
That's
in
real
Atlanta,
cool.
growing up in Atlanta, that was one of the biggest things back in the 80s and 90s is you had to be a skater.
Okay.
So that's just one of those things that like being growing up in the ATL, like I said, just like in the movie, everybody that was a thing. Everybody was skating. So to be able to DJ and work at a skating rink back then it was awesome because we got a chance to meet different celebrities used to come to the skating rink. I mean, of course, a lot of people don't know who those celebrities are now because some of them are not there, but like the boys, this another bad creation. A lot of them came to the skating rink because that's where it was at back in the days. Is if you wanted to get people to know your music, you go to the skating rink,
Yeah,
and that's
so
how it was back in the 80s and 90s.
listen, you talking about the boys like Dial My Heart,
How my heart, yeah.
another bad creation, Aisha
Right, there you
is the
go. At the
girl with
playground.
yeah. So
Yep.
yeah, and you was in Atlanta, so I mean, I'm just getting excited just thinking about, that's the roller skating, just the energy. So another bad
That's the thing.
okay, I was like, wait a minute. So that's really dope. That's really dope. So you having a love for skating and music really just created this amazing DJ that you are now. Just
Yes.
that's amazing.
I mean, that's one of the things that's why I love about the skate ring and the skate community is a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of people have to have an outlet. And I know me and you were just talking about this last week
Yes.
about having a mental place to go to where you can kind of like come at peace with yourself and actually able to think straight. And so back in the day, going to the skating rink, and still to today, a lot of people that's their outlet is to go skating. And skating has always been my outlet. So my music and skating has always been my two mental places to where I can get a break away from things. When I'm in a skate zone, I'm not thinking about nothing else going on in this world. When I'm DJing, it seems like I go into the zone and all I focus on is having a good time and making sure the people that I'm DJing for are having a good time. So
Mm,
it's a mental thing for me. It's something. It's like it's a mental outlet, and everybody needs that. So like when you put a combination of doing what you love,
mm-hmm.
that same thing of doing what you love is also your mental outlet, and it's like then you're also able to make a living off of it. You put
Yes.
all three of those together and you have the perfect, like I ain't gonna say perfect life, but you have that perfect way of doing things in your life because you're doing what you love, you're in your mental zone, and you're enjoying it and you're doing things to make other people happy. So that's like a great combination altogether.
That's a great combination, especially if you're doing something that you love, because you're just able to just be who you are. When you do things that you love, it's like that's what really gets you up in the morning because you're able to really put in the focus, put in the time with things that you love.
Right,
So
right,
just listening to you with the skating. So what I want to ask you, right? So in the 80s, right?
right.
So did you have a little fro? Like Or look, Jerry curl. I'm just asking for a friend. Like, did you have a
No,
Jerry
well,
curl?
well, see, back then, I mean, the like younger '80s, I mean, early '80s, yeah, I had a little fro, but as and it's kind of funny now because I look back at it. But when we got into the late '80s,
Mhm.
I was a dude running around with a perm in my head, hair curled to the back, and had all kinds of lines cut inside my head. So I was always trying to be me, be my own self, be unique. I never try to blend in with everybody else.
Okay,
So
okay, okay. But that's good. You always been who you are. So that's always good, being your most authentic self. See,
right,
that's what I like about you. You know, I've learned a lot about you, a lot of great things. Like you like a teacher. You want to give knowledge and you really service to the people. And you don't meet that many people like you. And I'm just honored to, really be in your presence and just learning this. Like I'm excited. Like you know how I get my energy be high. So
right,
just listening to what you saying about Atlanta and skating and DJing and like I could visualize that. Like
right.
just like it just make you want to go to the. It made me want to, but I'm not going to the. I can't really I can't even roller skate like that. But when I was younger, I remember being in that energy when I was younger. My mom used to drop me and my sister off at the skating ring in Henderson. So that's what we used to do. Like the
Right.
music, the energy, and everything like that. Everybody just having fun. So that's amazing, man. That is really amazing. So
And that's one of those things that when you like, I look back at all the things. And see, this is where you never forget where you came from, because
right.
everything about me, everything about my company, everything about me as a DJ is all about where I came from.
For
And when I
sure.
say that, it's one of those things to where, like, DJing at the skating rink is where I started at. And to this day, I still do my thing at the skating rink. I still go out and I still support the skate community. I still do what I can to give back to the skating, just like the schools. I remember the like back in the days, the little school dances that we used to go to, and we didn't know anything, or like as little kids, all we want to do was have fun and pick at the girls, pick at how that all went back then. So the program, like one of the programs I have here is that where I go out, I DJ for all the elementary schools here in Cumberland County, and also Hoke. If Hoke, every now and then I do one in Hoke County, where I go out and I DJ for free, is because I know the teachers are doing all they can to take care of our children, and there is no funding to do anything more than to teach the kids. So I go out there and I DJ for free, and that's like giving back to the community. Um, those are things that when you understand who you are and what you went through, you become a better person when you go back and you fight those things. And when I say fight those things, you fight those bad things in life by giving back to that, to where those people don't have to experience what you went through. And
Yeah.
that's just one of those things to where once you make it to the top, don't just stay at the top, come back down and help others do better. Do what you
Yeah.
can to help people. And that goes back to like a lot of people, and this is the crazy thing, is a lot of people say, well, your prices for weddings are too low. You should charge more money. And I'm like, well, you know what? Me and my wife got married 25 years ago.
That's
We
a
spent,
blessing.
yes, we spent about $3,000 for our wedding. There's that doesn't exist today.
No.
But we had the biggest wedding ever. We had, I mean, and the thing what was so funny is the DJ for my wedding was a boombox with a mixtape that I made. So that was my DJ. So I look back at then and I said, you know what? I remember how it was. When you first start off, you want to start off on a good foot. Most couples today are going through and dealing with a lot more than couples that started 20 plus years ago. So things are a little bit more challenging. So the last thing you want to do is start off a new chapter in your life with the person that you love the most in debt.
Facts.
So
Facts.
get it. People, I got it. People can make the decision. They can do whatever they want. But the way I look at it is, if I can make it affordable to where a person can have all, I mean, not just the guy playing the music, but just have all the special trimmings to make a wedding day special, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's what makes me unique is I don't just play the music. I go to the extreme to make sure that everybody's entertained,
Yes.
and actually capture those moments so you have something to go back and look at.
Yeah. Like tell them how you came up with the idea of, how you set your cameras up and how you're able to do A, B, C, and D and how you put it all together. Tell them how you created that.
Well, and I think that's where the as DC2DW. Okay, like, and this is the crazy my whole military career. I was exposed to a lot of different things in reference to technology, cameras. Like my last 3 years, I was a public affairs representative, and that person like went up to the Pentagon, got 1 week worth of training on public affairs. Well, they taught us how to use cameras, how to tell stories, how to use like video cameras. So I took that for 3 years. I did that for the last 3 years of my military career. So I took all those things and incorporated into what I do for my customers because I was so good at doing it in the military. I was called the special project guy because anytime they wanted something done that's high tech or something like that, I'll be the one that they called to put it together. So even though my background is transportation, that was I was more into the S6 than I was transportation my last few years in the military. So video cameras. I look back again, go back to my wedding day was we had my cousin who actually video recorded on an 8 millimeter camera. The photographer back then we didn't have the digital stuff. We had 35 millimeters where you had to develop. So I look back at we didn't have my camera because my cousin did it. It wasn't really the best, but it was perfect back then. The person that did our pictures didn't really do a good job. But again, we still had memories. So to me, I look back and say, you know what? If I can give people a better experience than what I have on my wedding day, that would be the bomb.
Yes.
I got a chance to try it. The very first wedding I did it with was Jason. Um, oh my gosh, I forgot. It's not Sydney. Yeah, Cindy. Jason and Sydney. I did their wedding back in Newport News, Virginia. The biggest wedding I ever did. I mean, when I say big, they had the horse and carriage. They had everything. So at that time, I didn't have the best of the equipment, but I had the right equipment to do what was necessary. So I had the projector, I had the TV screens, I did a little bit of everything. So through their wedding, it was a seed planted in me to where I got to do better when it comes to wedding because that was really the biggest wedding I ever done. So that was back in 2006. So from there, as I started to prepare myself to get retired from the military, I started coming up with more and more ideas of how can I make things better for weddings because I got exposed to weddings in 2000. I mean, when I say exposed to, I did a lot more weddings than just one per year, which technically how it was when in the military. I only got a chance to do one, maybe two per year. But when I retired, I got exposed to doing weddings, and to be honest, when I went and came into this industry, it was a lot of crooks in this industry.
Mm.
And when I say a lot of crooks, there was a lot of people that were misguiding people, giving them bad information, trying to take advantage of them, trying to take their money. And that's something that I didn't like. And so I started to learn the process, learn the system, learn the trait, learn the actual, I guess you could say my field. And the more I learned, the more I understood that, okay, this ain't not what right looks like. And so that's that where I went and got a degree in event planning, and I got a chance to learn more and more about that. I also got a degree in IT. So took all that knowledge and came up with this perfect idea of why not be able to entertain the guests, tell the story of the couple. Because the thing about people don't understand is when I do a wedding, I really try to understand where the couple's coming from. So if a person wants to understand the importance of a wedding, tell the story of how that couple went through what they went through to get there. So I would say tell the pictures. Say you don't even have to say words with pictures. Pictures tell a lot. So that was one of the things I said. Okay, so let me incorporate that. Let me go in and get people to understand where this couple is coming from. So you tell the story. Then after you tell your story, you entertain the guests because entertainment, believe it or not, will make or break a wedding. or any event. So you want to entertain the guests. So you come up with a way to entertain them. And that's where you have your video cameras. And first started off with the video camera was it was just a dance cam where, okay, the camera's on, you can see yourself dancing on the TV screens. And so that was satisfactory. I mean, that was really good for a lot of people. For me, I said, okay, well, you know what? Since I got these cameras, why not just video record? I said,
Mm.
the technology is there, so why not do it also? So then I came up with the idea, okay, well, you know what? Bam, okay, we're going to tell the story. We're going to tell the story. First, we're going to do is we're going to tell the story. Understand the vision of the couple. So then you can see exactly what the couple wants. Then you tell the story of how they got where they're at now. Then after that, you entertain the guests. From there, after you entertain the guests, you capture the moments. And so that is like the complete package because like me, I'm looking at if I was to do my wedding today, what would I want? And that's where I said, what's up? So do I want to spend $2,000 on a DJ? No. Why am I going to charge somebody something if I don't want to pay that? Because if someone come up to me right now, I want to hire a DJ, I'm not going to pay 2,000. I'm just sorry. I'm not going to pay $2,000. So why would I charge somebody $2,000 to DJ? So that's just my own way of looking at things. So that's just how I visualize. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
For sure, for sure. And I'm just sitting here listening to everything you saying because people will try to get over on people and try to pretend they know more than they really know because people just getting into the business. So
Right.
they try to take advantage the whole time. They really don't know what they're talking about. You feel
And
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
right. And that's the thing where you have to educate. Like with me, I give a presentation. Before you can sign a contract with me, you have to sit in my presentation. I give you a full presentation so you can understand what's going on and who I am. I am not your regular DJ guy that plays the music. I am a DJ entertainer, which makes a big difference. And that's where I go, life of DJ entertainer is that whole story to me is breaking the mold of what people think a DJ does. There's a difference between a DJ and a DJ entertainer. A DJ, he or she just plays the music. A DJ entertainer understands the whole how the whole thing's going to come together to entertain the guests. And that's what people think, oh, when you hire DJs, no, there's a lot more. And that's where I try to educate people that when you hire a DJ entertainer, they're doing more than just playing the music. They're making your vision come together because when you sit down and you look at the entertainment, or I should say the event services, who puts it all together? It's
Right.
supposed to be the event coordinator, event planner, but most of them, and this is just from my experience, don't understand the part about the DJ. Most of the time, the assumption is they just play the music. Well, there's a lot more to it, and I think that's where, as a DJ entertainer, we are the ones that kind of like pull all the assets together. Because like when it comes time to do the introduction, okay, you got to make sure the photographer's there. You got to make sure the videographer's in place. You got to make sure all the right things are together. So some event planners or event coordinators know that. As a DJ entertainer, we're already on cue to say, okay, we're going to make sure this person's in place, this person's in place. We're going to make sure everything flows together. And so, like with me, I've kind of like the way my system on the way I do things, my system on how I do things is it's set up to be a safety net to
Okay.
where I'm able to capture those things, do those things that the photographer might not be able to capture, or the videographer might not be able to capture, or the event coordinator might have forgot something. Because it's always me. I'm going back and I'm going to check every single thing to make sure everything is completely under one umbrella and not out here to the left or out to the right.
So if all right, so how about if a person doesn't have a videography or person take the videos, would you be able to you have
Yeah.
everything you need to do everything,
Yes.
so it's not really a need to really have all those people because you have everything that you need like in that package.
Right.
Everything that you need. So that's what's so dope about you.
That's what makes me different from everybody. Like, and this is one of the things I know. I go on these different groups, DJ groups, and they're like, "Oh, why are you doing somebody else's job?" Oh, but my thing is this: the DJ The life of a DJ entertainer has changed in so many different ways. We went from albums, which are vinyl, people can call, I mean, I'm calling records, right? Yeah,
Okay.
records, albums, vinyl. We started with that. Then we went into CDs. Then from CDs, we went into MP3s. Well, technology has always changed things to make it better and easier for us to do our job. All I'm doing is taking it to the next level to where now I'm incorporating videography, photography, all into one setup. Now, I always tell people up front, it's not what a professional would do. If you want professional pictures and professional video, then yes, go ahead and hire. But if they don't have that, they don't have that. Well, most of the time they're always going to have, excuse me, a photographer. But for a videographer, a lot of people don't get videographers, and that's the part that I really wish everybody would get a videographer. And if they don't, then that's when I step up.
Okay, so people should get that.
If
They
it,
should.
it's a good memory to have.
Okay.
It's a real good
Okay.
thing to have. And so, like, what
Okay.
I do is, if I have, and most of the time, what happens is I'll have someone, they just don't want to get all this extra stuff. So I say, okay, well, you know what? It's in my package. So I have the technology to do it. So I'm going to do it. So what I'll do is I'll set up one of my 7 iPads to record. And then, of course, because of COVID, I learned how to broadcast. And I think that's one of those additional things that people do is like, now if people can't make it, I set up a virtual room for 100 people to where people who can't make it can actually sit back and watch it and see it from wherever they're at.
Yeah.
Technology is there to help us and improve what we do. And to me, I'm all about tech. Is it's like if I can set it up to where I can video record, take pictures, and DJ all at the same time, then why not? It makes it better for the customer. And that's where like, oh, you know, I'm not trying to sabotage the industry. I'm trying to take care of the customer.
I have no idea why people are the way that people are, just so because they don't come up with something and they don't understand something, they try to, like, you know, downplay what another person is doing. And just because you're not creative, it's just because you did not come up with this idea, sir or ma'am, that doesn't mean that it's not possible to do. Like, I don't like, one thing I don't like about that, about people, when you're doing your own thing, you're unique, you're in your own lane, you feel what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
People not doing what you doing. So
right,
if people not doing what you doing, to me, if I'm a DJ, I'm gravitating towards you. I want to learn from you because it's different, and
right.
it's helping everybody, and it's A, B, C, and D. That's what I'll do, is gravitate towards you, and like, can you help me? Can you teach me this? Instead of just like, well, why you doing this and stuff like that. No, I'm gonna ask you questions so I'll be able to understand like you do, and then try to create something to what you created and make my own path. So that's what I think. That's how I think. But a lot of people don't think like that.
Well, see, that's where like with me, you always got to be a pathfinder. Like you said, you said the right word. You said path. I'm a pathfinder. I'm the type of person to where I'm not gonna follow in somebody else's footsteps. I'm gonna go make my own path. And then once I make that path and I make sure that path is solid, I'm gonna go back and show people the path that I took. So if they want to use that option, then they can use that. And then they can from there where I stop on the path, they can continue to keep it moving forward.
And that's what
So
it's all about.
and that's what it's all about. It's about taking what you know and you teach. You don't like with me, when I get something new, when I go out and purchase something new for my company, I don't keep it to myself. I'll go out on Facebook and I'll broadcast it, give all the information that's necessary. I put out information what's working, what's not. And that's one of those things to where again, I'm not competing with other people. I'm competing with myself. So if I think this works, then I'm going to share that information. I'm going to share that knowledge because that's one of the things about this industry. When I first came into this industry, everything was all hush hush. People didn't want to share the information. I mean, God forbid, they didn't even want to put their prices online because they didn't want people to undercut them. Why? I'm not worried about prices. I'm not worried about people undercutting me or anything in that nature. If you want me, then this is my price and this is what I'm about. I don't care what John, Jill, or whoever what their prices are because they're not my competition. I'm my competition. And I think that's where people have to get out of that mindset that other people are trying to steal stuff from you. It's like that paranoia. You're wasting energy on the other person versus focusing on yourself and your craft.
Yeah, because it's very important just to be service to people. Like me and you was talking about last week. It's very important to be service to people. It is very important. Like being service to people is a must. Like I share knowledge too. I don't hold anything back. I want everybody to win. So
Right.
that's my
Right.
mentality. Even if a person isn't listening to me, I'll still give them the knowledge. Like I know people probably don't even listen to me, but I still talk and give the information because that's just me. But
But you're sharing the
yeah,
information. You're putting it out there to make it easy for people to find. Because a
yes.
lot of stuff, there's a lot of stuff out there that is like, and I found this out and I'll tell you a story. This is a crazy story.
All right, tell it. You know I'm ready.
When I first started up, all I knew was DJ. Okay. And that's where a lot of DJs focus on. They focus on building that craft on becoming a good DJ. Well, then I started to learn, wow, okay, they're doing uplighting. I didn't know what uplighting was. I'm like, what, y'all take some flashlights and put them up? Like, what's uplighting? And come to find out, I went out and I saw, okay, the little lights that you put up to upload to kind of like to highlight the decor. So I went out and spent 800 something dollars on all the wrong lights. So I went out and got these little bitty canisters of lights, and I thought I was doing something. I was like, okay, yeah, I got 12 of these lights, so now I'm gonna do some uplighting. I wanted to go put those uplighting up for my first couple of weddings, and yeah, you can see it, but it's like, hey, that don't look like the pictures I've been seeing online. So why? I was like, what's really going on? So then I said, you know what? I went back, did my research, and come to find out, I had the 32 par light systems, which were that means that the beam in the light was terrible. That they're not powerful. They're more so for spotlighting like cakes or highlighting the. So I had the spotlights versus the uplight. So
Okay.
that is something to where I had to, as kind of like being baptized by fire because I learned the hard way what to get to do like all the other DJs were doing with that. And the thing was nobody was sharing the information. So like now I go out and when I do anything I do, I share the information because I don't want someone to go out and waste money and time trying to figure it out. Because what you do is you see in the picture what it is, but people don't tell you how are they making this image come to life? What are they doing to get this perfect picture of the uplighting, the decor, stuff like that? So me, I've learned that okay, I wasted a lot of money for my first 3 years of being in business because nobody was willing to share information. But then as I started to learn more about the DJs in my community, and that's one of the things I love about my community of DJs is once I started to learn like DJ Nate, DJ Hutch, got a chance to DJ Easy Hutch. Those two individuals gave me so much knowledge to where within my third year of business, I started to get the right equipment because I started asking questions and they started to share information with me. And that's why I tell people all the time, those two DJs, if it wasn't for them, I would have never learned what right looked like as far as some of the things that I do now. So it's like now I understood. So our community has become better and stronger with our DJs to where now we're sharing information. DJs call me up, ask me questions about, hey, where'd you get this? I'm sharing because I don't want them to go through what I went through. I don't want them to waste money on all the wrong equipment. And that's one of those things about the life of a DJ is you will have to go through a lot of stuff behind the scenes just to make someone's event perfect. So I share that information. Like when I go through, it takes me 2 hours or 3 hours to set up equipment. Yeah, everyone sees the final product, but you didn't see all the stuff that goes on. So it's like trying to educate people on that process that being a DJ entertainer is fun, but at the same time, it is an actual career. It is an actual job. It's not a hustle. See, that's one of the other things we're trying to break that cycle of what people think about DJ. It's not a side job. It's not a side hustle. Some of us take it as a profession. And that's one of those things to where a lot of these younger DJs, they think it's like push a button, play some music. And there's a difference between playing music that you want to hear versus playing music for the crowd. And that is some of the biggest problems we have with some of these newer DJs that are coming out, is they're playing more so music that they want to hear versus music that you have to be able to read the crowd. You have to be able to understand what the customer wants, which sometimes can be challenging because the customer sometimes will give you a list of music that you only listen to. There's a difference between dance music and listening music. So it's so many different twists and turns about being a DJ entertainer to where it's like taking time to educate people. So when I post a lot of stuff on Facebook, I'm not bragging about it. I'm more so showing people this is what's going on. This is what's taking place. When you hire a DJ, these are the things that you have available. These are the things that DJ should be able to do. He or she should be able to do. If you hire, then there's like so many different types of DJs. You have a club DJ, you have a skate DJ, you have a regular DJ, you have someone who just plays music, which they call themselves a DJ. Then you have the DJ entertainer, which is the one that brings all the extra scenarios, the lighting, the monogram, the actual video screen capability. DJs, and there's so many different categories of DJs, but when someone says DJ, what does that really mean to them? Some people think playing music from Spotify is DJing. I mean, there's so many technology now is making it easier for anyone to claim to be a DJ, but you have to really take time to understand what does that really mean. As like a lot of people think, first thing when you hear DJ, what's the first thing comes to your mind?
So the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear DJ, I think about like the turntables. That's what comes to my mind. The turntables, the little thing that you go like this, and that's
The
what I
scratch
think
card.
about. Yeah, the scratch. That's what comes to my mind for like DJ and just getting the party started, good music, good vibe. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind with a DJ.
And that's where with today is, for example, you take a club DJ. A club DJ, their whole vision, or I should say their whole survey of people that come into the club is going to be completely different based on that type of club. Would you want music that's played at a club played at your wedding?
No, hold
So
on,
then
hold on. Yeah, I mean some music from the
some
club.
music,
Yeah, some music, but I want some, to be able to slow dance and and different things like that. I see what you're saying. I got
right? I
you.
mean, because like you go in there, like I'm gonna say back in my old days of DJing in a club, like Donkey Butt and stuff like that. I wouldn't want
Let
to play
me
that
see
at
that.
somebody's wedding. Some people want to play it, or Luke Skywalker, you know, I would say Hoochie Mama, some of those other ones that were popular. Like back then, those are real like club type music. Club.
Got you.
It's just
Got
like
you.
right now, like Rake It Up, for example. I'm gonna say Rake It Up because that was one of the biggest ones when that song first came out. Would you want Rake It Up to be played at your wedding day?
Um, prob.
Now think about it. Now the reason why I say this now,
Hold on, I'm thinking about it.
okay,
I'm
is
thinking about it.
I'm gonna say this because a lot of people think the song. Don't get me wrong, the song is a good song. It has a good beat, but the message in the song.
You right. You right. You right. You right. I'm just
I
thinking
mean,
about the beat. I was just thinking
right,
about the
right.
beat.
And see, as a real good DJ, it's like when you go into like going to the club, it really doesn't matter what the message is. I'll be honest, it really doesn't matter. Like you play some good beats, you play some good songs, get people hyped. That's one thing. But when you go into somebody's wedding, you don't want to be talking about how you're going to go out here on the corner and make money. So that's something that a lot of people got to understand is there's a difference between you don't want grandma, grandpa,
You right.
aunt
You
Dixie,
right.
to get offended, especially
Yeah, I
because
got
then
you.
we're talking about you're gonna have church folk at your wedding,
Yeah,
and you don't want your pastor to like, did they just play up like and then when I say it's like don't get me wrong, there's always clean versions of the song, but even the clean version is bad.
I got what you're saying.
So that's why I say there's a different DJ, like a skate DJ. One of the hardest things, and I tell people this all the time, the hardest place to DJ for is a skating rink. And when I say that, I'm talking about when you have real hardcore skaters. If you can do great things as a skate DJ, you're not gonna have any other problems with any other different areas because skaters are the hardest ones to DJ for. And I say that is because you're talking about we're not only talking about dancing, but you're also talking about moving on eight wheels. So it's easy to do a sidestep here there when you got no in your shoes, but when it comes to skating, it's a little bit challenging. So to me, the most challenging is the skate DJ. DJ in the club, that's probably the next one because you're dealing with a whole different variety of different people, and they're drunk in some cases. Not all, but some are drunk. Makes it easier for them to get on the dance floor and do crazy stuff, but that's a little bit different. Now, as a wedding DJ is the way I look at it is the most like kind of like the highest level of being a DJ because you're not just playing music, you're actually controlling the entertainment of the entire environment.
Mm.
If you walk into a wedding, first thing you do is you hear music. You have that preload music that people are playing to entertain you before the wedding starts. Then you got to make sure you play the right songs for the ceremony. God forbid if you play Hoochie Mama when the bride's coming down,
hold on. Listen. So you playing the music. Hold on. So you doing because when I think about, the wedding, I'm thinking about like after the wedding. You feel me? Like the
Right.
entertainment, like the recession. The what? It is it the
Yeah,
man.
you're talking about the reception. You're right. You're
Yeah,
reception.
I said the recession. I mean the
Right.
reception.
I know what you're
But
talking about, but see,
yeah.
that's the thing is, and that's where like with me, I educate. That's why I sit down because a lot of people think that the
Okay.
DJ only plays music just for them to dance to. But when it comes to a wedding, there is so many different. Like for example, there's I call it a wedding day is 10 hours
Okay.
from beginning to end. It's about 10 hour day. Sometimes it might be longer, but it's a 10 hour day. So the DJ, if the DJ again, there's different types of DJs. Sometimes people just hire that one DJ for like some cases the radio station or a club DJ just to entertain the people when it comes time to dance. But an actual DJ entertainer who's been in the business, a wedding DJ, knows they're responsible for playing the music during the ceremony, the preload music during the ceremony, the cocktail hour, where you have to entertain the people. So like when a bride and groom and the bridal party and the bridal family out there taking pictures, you got that one DJ. Because the thing is, your guests have to be entertained the entire time. From the time they arrive to the time they leave, they have to be entertained. Now, if let's say for example, let's just say take music completely out.
Okay.
If you come into a wedding, okay, wedding starts at 3 o'clock. You come in at 2:30, and you're
Mm.
just sitting there. What are you gonna do for 30 minutes?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't been in the wedding in a long time, so I want to listen to music. Like I want to listen to music.
You want
I
something to entertain you
yes,
while you're
yes,
waiting. So
yes.
I
I
mean,
would.
because you might have your cell phone there to entertain you or a tablet or something, but you're gonna really want something there. So okay, so the music starts playing there. If I'm playing the right music to entertain, like keep in mind, my goal as a DJ entertainer during that time frame, as a wedding DJ, is to get your mindset, set the environment. It's a wedding. The music selection that the couples choose is the vision of their wedding.
Yes.
So the music that I'm playing music to get you in that mood to oh, this is gonna be a nice wedding, things of that nature. And it's the build up. So you're building things up, getting people ready for that big moment for the wedding. So the music has to flow nicely to where it tells the story of the and ready and exciting. So then you okay, bam. So then when that bride comes out, that right song, of course, the dress and that she's beautiful. Or in some
Mm,
cases, he is beautiful. Um, but it's like you want it to be set right, and music has that extra little extra to it. So beautiful dress, beautiful like tuxedo sometimes, and you wanted to set that mood. So you got to have the right music to play. So then the music comes in, bam, it sets the mood. Then from there, when it comes time to make that big exit, that song that they choose really gets people ready for the next part of it, which is the cocktail hour, which then is the reception.
Okay, see, when I see you just I just learned something today. So, okay, when I think about a wedding, right? I'm thinking about the wedding. So, how do you set up everything for cuz it's like two different parts of
Mhm.
weddings sometimes.
Right.
So, how do you set up everything for that part, like for the wedding part and the reception part? Like, how does everything flow with that?
Well,
Like,
that's where with me, I have what I put together planning forms, and
okay.
those planning forms, it shows, it gives an outline of what the customer needs to choose. Now, what happens is most of the time the customer's not thinking the way like a wedding teacher thing, because we've done so many weddings, so we know what kind of like really sparks things off for the wedding. So we'll actually sit down and we'll help them pick out the music. The music that they choose should be music that tells their story. It should say a
Mhm.
lot about who they are. Like sometimes a person will pick a song and not know that that song means a lot. So you're like, for example, when it comes time to do the introduction, and I tell this to all my brides and grooms, the way you enter your reception sets the pace. If you come in, again, nothing against church, but if you come in there like you going to church, it's going to be like church the entire time. But if you come in there ready to party and have a great time, then it will set it off and it will maintain that entire time frame. So that's why I would tell people, like, when they choose that slow song to do their entrance, again, that if that's how they want to represent themselves, that's fine. But like when you play that one song, "Bring Them Out" by Ti,
Bring
that
them out.
gets everybody hype. Or you get "We Ready," songs like that. And that's what I say. You want something that's gonna be like bring them out, like make it live, and that
Okay.
sets the pace. So just like your wedding party, if you choose again, your wedding party got to bring it. So when they come in, like you want, I mean, if they doing flips, my thing is that when you sit back at a reception, a lot of people don't understand it. It is a performance. It is a show. It's a celebration. So it's a combination of all those things together. So when you come out, you are coming to celebrate the greatest day in your life. You just married the person that is going to be with you for the rest of your life, and you're ready to celebrate. So that energy needs to be there. So when people
Yeah.
come in, it's like I try to get them hype. I do my thing to hype things up, but then I tell the bridal party, look, y'all gotta come in. Don't just walk in, dance in, strike a pose, do something to liven
Yeah.
it up. That makes a big difference because believe it or not, if I'm sitting in the guest, I'm
Mhm.
a guest that I'm here, I'm sitting in a wedding. If I see someone doing 5 flips coming in, I'm gonna stay and see what's going on here because this just gonna be something entertaining. And I'm like, whoa, that dude just hit 5 flips coming in. So then I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch. I want to stay for the whole wedding time frame because I want to see, this is fun. This is gonna be a great time. But if I come in and people doing that church shuffle as they come in to be introduced, then you know what? I'm just gonna eat this food. I'm gonna leave. And that's just the mindset. It's like a wedding day is like a production, but it's a production that tells the greatest story in someone's life.
Yeah, you gotta really, cause I'm sitting here thinking about everything you saying. Like I'm sitting here listening to you. So basically, all the songs that you pick is basically telling a story,
Right.
right? So you creating the vision and it's telling the story type vibe. You feel
Right.
me? You create moments. So hey, you just put me on game, sir.
Yeah. And see, to me, it's like it's kind of like if I had to do my wedding all over again,
Yeah.
I know all the right songs to tell my story because
Okay.
I'm a DJ. But like when you sit down and you choose your songs, is you want things to flow. For example, when it comes time for you to do your first dance, that song that you choose should be that song that meant something special to the two of you.
Yeah.
It should be that song that was playing in the background the first time you kiss, or it should be that song the first time that you really realize that you love it. It should be that song that brings out a part of you and that other person that you connected with. And that's one of those things. Your story, just like when you choose that song to dance with your as a bride, you're dancing with your father. What song tells the story about your relationship between you and your father? Was you a daddy's little girl, or well, I mean, it's like my girl. Like a lot of people like Temptations. I was daddy's little girl. So it's kind of like you want to tell the story with the music. And so when people choose their music, it's kind of like you're telling the fairy tale story of your life coming up to this moment in time.
You know what? You know what I'm sitting here thinking? Like my dad, I probably pick everybody was kung fu fighting. Yeah. Cause it's just because that's the kind of energy me and my daddy have. Like funny energy, like that'll be me and my dad just doing stuff like that. And that'll be it. Like he like that. Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging the
Right.
sea with a gangster lean. Woo hoo. It'll be that vibe. I can only be me. So that's the kind of energy I be having with my dad.
But then that's what I say, but that's that relationship that you have with your father.
Yeah.
And just like when it comes time for that groom to dance with his mother, it's like, was you a mama's boy? Because if you're mama's boy, okay, then you most likely you'll play that Boys to Men song.
Mama.
Yeah. So, or like some people, Tupac, Dear Mom. I mean, it all depends on the type of relationship that you have.
Yeah.
And that's something to where when you choose music, it has to be a part of what you want that day to mean to you. And I think that's where people like sometimes people get caught up in the weddings and they're just picking stuff at random. Yeah, just say just and I'll sit back and I see it and be like, okay, I don't see what kind of story you got going on here. You got Pee Wee Herman dance. You got, I'm gonna sit here looking like you got Gundam style. Like, what's really going on here? And that's where I'll sit back and I'll ask questions and see DJ Nate. He actually taught me a lot about understanding the meaning behind the song because when me and him sit down and we talk about music and he kind of highlights some stuff to me too. I like what I kind of like the vibe that what he was talking about when it comes to music and some of his episodes. We'll sit back and we can talk for hours about some of the things he been experienced in the song. Same thing with DJ Easy Hutch. Is I listen to their two stories of things they've been in the business for a long time, and I listen to all the different things that they encounter, and I incorporate what they talked about into what I do. And you believe it or not, you'll learn a lot from different people. Like if you take time to reach out to other people in the industry, you can learn a lot. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom out there. And don't get me wrong, there's some people in this industry are stuck in their ways. And I mean, I'll give you a crazy story. I had this one wedding planner where you had to use her music for the ceremony. She chose the music for the ceremony. And it was always the same music when she was the wedding planner. And I sat back and I'm like, how is that telling their story if the music does not relate to them?
I don't understand. Like, how is that possible?
But that's back in the days.
Oh, okay, back in the
Back in the
day.
days, that's what it was. Is that the wedding planner pretty much did a lot of this, like control, had a lot of control over the weddings.
Okay,
So
okay.
like now is like because then there was always like for example, the men, or I should say the groom side's always on the right, the bride side's always on the left. That is the norm. That is what has been for years, but technically is it right or wrong? And that's where like nowadays people just want people just okay, just sit anywhere because we're all going to be family anyways. So there's a lot of stuff that's traditional, and then there's a lot of stuff, and that's why I always tell my customers when it comes to weddings, there's no right or wrong way to do a wedding. It's what you want it to be. I had one wedding where they danced the entire time for the ceremony. Is that right or wrong? It's different. I know I would be tired, but I mean that's what they want to do. I have one wedding where they're dressed up in Star Wars character. I mean, they came in with lightsabers and stuff like that. So it's like today, it's all about the vision. Don't discriminate or keep people in a box.
Yeah,
Let them be who they want to be.
yeah, I like
And
that.
that's what makes the wedding better. Is like if I'm able to go to a wedding or I'm able to have my wedding the way I visualize it all my life. You have some people that grew up, all they focus on was having the perfect wedding. You can't take that vision away from them. That's part of that's part of them. So you have to take that vision, and not only do you have to make that vision come alive, but you have to enhance it to where it's even 5 times better than what they can imagine. A lot of people got to get out of their own ways. Like as a DJ entertainer, it's like, well, and this is just me in general. I'm not even gonna say as a DJ entertainer, you have to stay uncomfortable. You can never get to where you're comfortable. When you start to become comfortable in anything in life, you will always start making mistakes.
Mm,
But when you're uncomfortable, you're always going to be focused. You're always going to be doing things, and you're always going to be learning. That's why I tell people don't get comfortable because once you get comfortable, you're stuck. As a DJ entertainer, it's the same thing. You have to stay uncomfortable. Don't get used to doing one way, doing things this way, doing things that you got to get to a point. Once you get comfortable in an area, it's time to move on.
yeah.
I look at the skating rink. Whew. And let me tell you, the skating rink has been a crazy roller coaster when it comes to my skaters. Is some skaters want you to play the same stuff, some skaters want you to play something different. I don't care what you do, you're never gonna make everybody happy. So it's kind of get to the point where okay, I'm gonna do a little something new, a little something that I normally do. But it's like when you get to a point, not even just a skating rink, but when you're for the venue, a club, or a skating rink, or anything where you're constantly have the same people coming into it, you can easily get stuck because that's one of those environments to where if you do it for so long, you'll become so stuck to playing the same old songs. I had some DJ friends that was telling me at the club. I'm not gonna say the name of the club, but they were DJing at this club, and they got these people come in, and they want to hear this same old Southern style, Southern blues music. You only can listen to "Hole in the Wall" so many times. I'm sorry, you just that's how it is. So for me at the skating rink, it's the same thing. Is I'll have some are older skaters. Oh, they want to hear this. Then I have some other skaters. Oh no, we want to hear some of the newer stuff. Then I have other skaters because he skate. A lot of people don't understand. There's so many different varieties of different skate mades. You have your JB skaters, you have your shuffle skaters, you have your dance skaters, you have your. It's just a little bit of different ones. So then you got to play different types of gender and see skate music is not your mainstream. Skate music is kind of underground music because a lot of music that you play at the skating rink, you can't find in a record pool. If you ain't got the right connections, you're not gonna get some of the music that's popular. So it makes it challenging to a standpoint to where I've been DJing at skating rink for 10 years. And I always try to find a way to make it different because it's hard. It's like it's so easy to become comfortable. And
So what do you do to stay uncomfortable? Like, what do you do?
you have to change up what you do. Like with me, when it comes to my company, is I'll find like yeah, I'm competing with myself. I find a different method, a different way, different setup, a different thing. With every and see, thing is with weddings, none of my weddings were ever the same. They'll never be the same. So that's always going to keep me able to grow. That's why my business is growing because I'm competing with myself and I'm actually listening to what the customer wants. Every customer will always be different. But if I was to get comfortable and stuck, then I will start doing what I want to do,
Yeah.
not what the customer wants. And that's how you can tell how a business is going to grow is when they get out of their own way and start making changes for the customer and not for themselves. When I'm doing things to make it easy for myself, then I'm stuck. I'm getting
Okay.
comfortable.
Got you. Because it's all about basically giving the customer what they want for their wedding because it's all about the customer.
Right,
So you just don't do what you just don't give them, bring their vision. You gonna put that vision out there. They're
right.
gonna be able to see it. Type.
And that's why I tell people all the time, I am not the best DJ in Fayetteville. I know there's many DJs out there that can DJ way better than me, but I listen to the customer and I give the customer what they want. That's what makes me a best DJ for them. So when you see my reviews, you're the best DJ ever, I cater to what they wanted. It's
So
not
and so you are the best DJ ever. So that's what it is. You are the best DJ.
right. But
So
see, but that's why I want to we'll see some people, and I have to say that because there's some DJs out there, they will say, "Oh, he just does this, he does that," but it's a
so
difference. If I focus on what the customer wants, no matter how embarrassing it might be sometimes to play some of the music, I'm going to give the customer the music that they want.
that's
I
what
mean,
it's all
that's
about.
what it's all about. And so it's like, and in some cases, now there is a point in time where I don't have to say this. I've done this 3 times in 10 years I've been in business because I know February make 10 years. I've actually had to turn away a customer, and it's either because they had a bad attitude or what they wanted was like I had one in one case. I had one bride that didn't want no live music at all. What I mean, just think about that for a second.
Yeah, because I just thought about it. So what does she want?
But that happened to me once upon a time where
Mm.
bride didn't want no live music, and I was just sitting thinking to myself, like as a DJ, I said, yeah, I can. No, no, that ain't gonna work because the first thing what's gonna happen is that person's gonna come up and they're gonna ask, "Hey, can you play the wobble? Hey,
Hmm.
can you play?" And see that's why I have to define. I have to say, okay, whoa, let's break this down now because I can put blur lines, and that's not a line song, but that's a group song. No, no, I don't want no one dancing in groups. I don't want no one doing. So then I'm like, okay, this is not gonna be a fun wedding.
Mm.
This is not gonna be one of those things. And so at that time, now don't get me wrong, I was just getting started really good. I think it was my second year in business, and I just had to turn it down because I'm not the right DJ. And that's one of the things is I'll sit down and I'll listen to a customer, and if I feel that I am not the right DJ, I'm going to let them know up front I'm not the right one for you. I had one customer. Oh yeah, I want my wedding for 8 hours. We want to dance like we in the club. I'm sorry. I mean 8 hours. I'm dance at the club. That's not going to happen. So so me, it's like if your expectations are something that's unrealistic, I'm honest. I'm gonna say, well, look, you know what? I'm not the right DJ, but here's a list of other DJs that might be able to meet your needs. I never take on a job or event that I know I'm not the right DJ for. But then I have some people that try to fit me into that. And that's one of the things people have to understand. Listen to your DJ. When your DJ says up front they don't think they're the right one, don't try to make them fit because the price is right.
Mm.
And that's what happens is the price might be right, but that might not be the right DJ for you. If you pay $200 for a DJ and he or she all they do is DJ at the club, then guess what? Don't be surprised when Humpback Hoochie Mama comes up.
When she walking in the aisle.
Right. So those are things that people have to understand. It's like you get what you pay for. And in my case, I mean, you get what you pay for, but at the same time, you get a lot. So that's one of those things to where I mean, there have been some times where I had one and it's like those individuals that wanted their certain things for their wedding, it's in your best interest. I don't care what you do in the event services. When you get a customer that gives you their vision and you know you can't make that vision come alive, it's up to you to do the right thing.
Right.
Tell them up front. Oh, you have those customers. Oh, okay. I want people to be able to dance on the ceiling. Okay, I don't have gravity boots, so I'm not gonna be the right DJ.
Bruh.
But those are the things that you have customers, and don't get me wrong, some customers are not realistic when it comes to their events, and that's where there's always a disconnect. Me, I try to make sure that when I take on an event, I'm the right. Like I sit back and I listen. When people ask for certain things, like let's say, um, like my wedding I just did this past weekend, they wanted to listen to K-pop music. K-pop music is more of your Korean pop music.
Okay.
So it's like that's what they wanted. I was like, okay, I'm familiar. I did 6 years in Korea. I know a lot of music about, that's easy for me. That's not hard. If someone comes up and they're saying that they want to say, and this is one of, they want nothing but hardcore hip hop, I'm going to decline that. And the reason why I'm going to decline that is because the BPM, the beats per minute in the music, is more so for music for you to listen to. You can't dance to hardcore hip hop.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like some people, oh, we could make it. Nah, I'm sorry. Hardcore hip hop is just that's not my specialty. And then my thing is my one of the biggest thing about my reputation is I play nothing but clean music.
Okay.
I don't care what event it is, you're gonna get clean music. You're not gonna get any cussing or that's not gonna happen because I'm the type of person is I don't want to play music that's gonna be offensive to anyone that might be in the crowd. Now there's some songs, the messaging sometimes might be a little close to the borderline, but overall I try to kind of keep it to the point where it's more positive and more fun than it is to where it's making me think like, wow, he's gonna do a drive by and do what? This is it's kind of like,
So hold up. You had people that wanted you to play music like that at weddings?
oh yes, all the time, all the time. It is you'll be surprised. You'll have people come up and I mean, I better yet, I'll even tell you, you have kids, little bitty 5, 6, 7 year old kids come up and ask me to play. Can you play "Drop It Like It's Hot"? Or not "Drop It Like It's Hot"? What's the song that they come up and ask me to play? Like "Rake It Up" was a real popular one when it first came out. All right, I can't play this in a family environment, and this is at the skating rink. So it's like, oh, well, can you play "Up"? Okay, Cardi B, don't be wrong. Cardi B is an outstanding, great artist, but Cardi B, most of her music you can't play in a public environment with families. I mean,
Is it a clean version?
even the clean version is not clean. I mean,
I
that's the
love Cardi.
I mean, Cardi B. Don't get me wrong. I love a lot of her music, and I will
Mm,
listen to it on a one-on-one basis.
yeah, I
But when it
got
comes
you.
to playing it out there in the public,
So you couldn't play like
yeah, I mean, it's like you think about some of the stuff. I mean, because even if you put the clean edit, you know what she's talking about in the messaging. So that's what I say. Music nowadays, and I can go on and on about music in general, but like music nowadays is not designed for public listening. It's perfect for club listening, maybe, but not for public listening. Like when you're in like the skating rink is again. I go back to the skating rink is the hardest platform, is because you're always gonna have a large mix of people. And when I say people, we're talking about not only different backgrounds but ages. Because I
yeah.
have one kid, they'll come up and ask me, and it's funny because I actually learn a lot from the skating rink. They'll come up and they'll ask, "Hey, can you play? What was it? One? Can you play Cupid 2? What's Cupid 2?" I'll go and look it up. It's something that's on YouTube, but it's not something that's in mainstream.
Mm.
So it's like they're actually educating me on new music, and I have to go back and listen. Oh, this song is the jam. Just like what's it? What I feel? I guess is chicken wing. I mean,
Chicken wing,
yeah, and see,
macaroni,
and I sit here thought to
chicken
myself, he come up and ask, "You play
macaroni,
chicken wing?" Like chicken
chicken.
wing?
That's my
Uh,
nephew's song right there.
right. Well, I was like, to me, when
Mm.
the first time I heard someone ask me chicken wing, you want what? You want Bojangles? What are you talking about? And it's like it's a song. So then you go and you listen to it, and you get a chance to learn. And you learn a lot, and that's one of the things about being a DJ entertainer is you got to be open minded to learn, because some of these kids, like, oh my gosh, TikTok, it's killing us as DJs because people come up, can you play that TikTok song? Okay, which one? Yeah, that TikTok song that where they were dancing crazy. Okay, that's almost every TikTok song. What are you talking? So it's like I mean, that's just one of those things to where it's amazing how a person comes up and requests a song and they don't know what the song is. And they'll throw some lyrics out there and be like, okay, what are you trying to sing? oh yeah, that TikTok song where Cardi B and Michael Jackson and oh, you talking about the remix to Up and Michael? Oh, okay, got you. But then again, it's like most of the TikTok songs, I'll say half of the TikTok songs are not clean music.
Right, right. Is there any way that you can, with the TikTok songs that they want, is there any way that you can get it clean or?
And that is the challenge because see now as a DJ entertainer, see this is the behind the scenes of a DJ entertainer is finding music has become more of a full-time job all by itself
Mm.
because you have to now go out and you have to say, for example, like me, I'm a video see as a video DJ. Not only do I have to find the music, but sometimes I have to make the video. So like I have a lot of videos that I'll play that I made just so I can't play the video. Like if I take Cardi B's video Up, I can't play that video. A lot of songs now, half of the women or most of these music videos are half butt naked almost. So you can't play those type of videos in a public surrounding. So now I have to go in and make videos to go along with the music that's appropriate.
Wow.
And that's a
That's
challenging. See, music. It's already hard as a regular audio DJ to find clean music. Then as a video DJ, now you got to find videos that are appropriate. Because if you go back and you look at a lot of these videos up here, that are good songs, they're real good songs. But then you look at the video, be like, whoa, I can't play that song because she got nothing on but her underwear.
so listen, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking of being a DJ?
I would say, when coming to be DJ, is you got to first things first. You have a passion for it. You got to have the passion. You got to understand. You got to put in the time. A lot of people think like I've been training a couple of DJs here recently, and they think all they do is they show up and they just choose music off a playlist. You got to put in the time. You got to practice. You're like BPM, beats per minute, is the most critical thing. If you're going to become a DJ, understand the music. Listen to the music. When like me, most time when I DJ, I say tell a story with your music. Listen to it, and that's where it happens is people get caught into the beat and not the message. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, the Mexican song could be terrible, but if it got a slamming beat, oh, it's the bomb. And so as a DJ, you have to be able to understand that beat per minute, and you got to understand the message, and you got to be able to combine those together when it comes time to mix your music. One of the things I tell people is Mixmeister, which is a DJ software, not that expensive. You can actually download the free version. It will teach you the beats per minute. It will
Okay.
help you guide you through how to mix or blend the music. So then when you move up into the controller or turntables or whatever, like whatever platform you choose to use, you already have an idea on how the BPMs are going to sound.
Okay.
So Mixmeister is a good way of learning because like Mixmeister, I got introduced to Mixmeister when I was DJing Korea in 2006 to 2008, and Mixmeister helped me out with a lot of the newer music. Old school music, I was already set because I knew my beat permits for a lot of my old school stuff. But the newer stuff, Mixmeister gave me a better understanding of I'll put the song in and I can practice like this song sounds good with this song. Okay, this is 95 beats per minute. This is 95 beats per minute. They both have a good message. They both, and I'm able to like practice with Mixmeister. So then when I turn over here to the controller and I'm trying to go here and go that way with it, then it makes it easier for me to flow with it.
Okay.
Or in some DJs, in which what we call the cheat code is you just hit the sync button, and that's just a way of technically a lot of DJs say you're cheating because it automatically with technology it automatically syncs the beat per minute for you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but that's the biggest thing is to learn the music,
Okay.
understand the music, understand, and then also know the different genders of music. One of the things is don't get stuck with just hip hop and R&B or country or rock or pop or top 40. You got to get a variety. Me, I can DJ Christian music, gospel music, country music, classic music, beach music. There's so many different genres and subgenres of music to where I can play and DJ with. It's because through my military career, I was exposed to on Thursday nights. I was DJing at the club country music, um, and that was one of the things I love about DJing in the military. It teaches you to be or have a variety. Latin music. Oh my gosh, Latin music. I love my Latin music. I'm still learning. The Latin music has so many different subgenres under Latin that it's ridiculous. That is probably the most challenging genre of music, but it has the best selection of music because of most of the beats per minute, most of the music. It's easier to the message is good, and it's easy to mix in together. So it's like learning my Latin. I've been learning Latin, and I'll continue to keep learning Latin music because Latin music, wow, I've just never like there's you got your island style, you have your Caribbean, you have your Jamaican, you have your Puerto Rican, you have your South America, which is a whole nother category all by itself. You have your Mexican version. It's like there's so many different like because of this Latin music is a variety throughout the entire world that you learn so much from that. So like to me, that's the most important. But the more you learn as a DJ, the better you become. Don't get stuck. Like I say, don't get comfortable. Stay uncomfortable the whole time. Just go out there and do stuff that you've never done before. Afro beats. Afro beats is one of those new things now where it's a variety of mix, but it's like once you start to get into it more and more, the better you become at it. Because Afro beats is kind of like a combination of R&B and your kind of like your top pop, your pop, the top 40, because it's always a nice variety of it all mixed together. It kind of like Jamaican music mixed in with R&B in a sense, but it has
Yeah, and it got
so
a nice beat.
right. It always has a nice beat.
Yeah,
But that's just one of the things is when you want to become a DJ, do it because you love music. Don't do it because it's a side hustle for the money. One of the things about me, what makes me a good DJ is I love what I do. I love about I love the craft. I love how to take a person's vision and make it into reality using all kinds of different methods and ways of technology. Learning how to tell a story by a song that you play. So sometimes I can see people and okay, let me play this song because I see how they're moving, how they're dancing. You see that old couple out there doing a little two step. Okay, you know what? They're doing a two step on this new song. Let me throw a song that I know they know by heart and let them dance even better. So, and then the thing is, you got to love people. You can't just be doing it because you love music. You love people and you love to entertain people.
that's that's awesome right there. Listen, everybody, this is DJ Ragtop, the life of an entertainer. You're gonna hear more from him. Believe me, you're gonna hear much more from him. But tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, the best way to get in contact with me is, like I said, I'm on Facebook 24/7, so it's easy to hit me up on Facebook. But if you want to call me or give me a call, you can always call me at my number is 910-261-1518, or you can hit me up on my email, which is dc2, the number two, dw.ceo at outlook.com. Um,
Okay.
I'm actually real good at like within 24 to 48 hours. I'm real good at responding back. Text message is also, I mean, calling me and text message. Of course, you get me quickly. But that's probably the best way to get in contact with me is to if you can't reach me by my cell phone, then by all means, just hit me up on Facebook because I will respond quickly on Facebook.
All right. And okay. And what's your email again so I could let them know?
My email is d. Let me break that military side on me. D as in Delta, C as in Charlie, that number two, D as in Delta, W as in Whiskey, dot, C as in Charlie, E as in Echo, O as in Oscar, at Outlook.com.
Okay. Yeah, let me put that up there, making sure everybody will be able to see this in the comments. Once again, y'all, this is Why Not Us podcast. Thank you for coming to the platform. I can't wait for you to come back and let the people know again, because this was everything. I like this. So thank you again for coming to the platform.
Well, Kendra, I want to say thank you to you too, because like I said, it was like when we sat back the first time I met you, you have a lot of energy. That's why I was happy to come on your platform, because you're all about being positive. And I hope and pray I get a chance to do some more stuff on your, because I'm thinking about like that show I was telling you about, Life of a DJ coming in. I would love to do that on your platform, because I love your spirit and I love what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm talking about. We already
Right.
we
Because I'm
already
telling you,
doing it. Yeah, we are.
you came in and you was already all in my mind, like, dang, how she know what? I'm like, well, okay, yeah,
Because it's very important. Like, this is very important. Like, I take this serious. Like, you taking the time out to even come on to my platform. Like, I'm learning from you. Like, everybody know about you in my circle. Like, yo, I learned this from him, and he's this person. So yeah, like, it's excited because of who you are as a person. You are a good person, so I love that. You feel me? You real positive yourself, and of course, you already know it's tag team. We coming back next week, so
okay,
we gonna make
definitely,
this a weekly thing. You feel me? I
right,
told you this
definitely,
is what this platform is for.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So you already know the vibe. So y'all will see him next week. You'll see us again next week. So positive vibes and positive energy. Y'all have a great day.
All right, y'all take it easy. We'll see y'all next time.
Yep.